Hello and welcome to this 8-Bit podcast with me, Chris, Tom,
Hello.
and David.
Hello.
On this week's podcast, we're going to delve into the depths of the console wars with the PS4 and Xbox One, BlizzCon, the beta launch for DawnGate, free-to-play games, and of course, new releases.
Oh, this fast healing stuff is gonna come in real handy.
Console war has started. The Xbox One is out on the 22nd November. That's worldwide, and then the PS4 has been out as we record this. It's out in America now, and it's coming to Europe
A week later.
on the 29th. And the PS4 is starting price is £349. The Xbox One will retail for £429. However, the Xbox does contain the Kinect, while the PS4 doesn't. But you can buy the PS4 with the camera for £395.
Yay.
So
For the Xbox, you spend an extra 44 quid
yeah,
if you get roughly the same packages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Right. Let's just start with like the simple question: do any of us actually care that the PS4 or Xbox One are coming out?
I do a bit. I think it's something that kind of matters, but I'm not going to get one.
No. I think it matters, but I think this whole like calling it next gen is a bit disingenuous, seeing as like the next gen's been here forever with the PC.
Yeah, it's been such a long release since like the Xbox is that PCs just got so far ahead. I don't think
Yeah.
it really matters too much.
and they say that this is going to be for the next this generation of consoles, the
10
PS4 and the
years.
Xbox One, 10 years. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
But my computer's already better than a PlayStation. And my computer wasn't like it's not like I spent thousands of pounds. I think I might have now just spent £1,000 because I bought a new graphics card.
It's like they're all saying, "Oh, it ushers in a new generation of like better graphics and blah 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 blah," but like it's just holding back the PC in the sense the PC can do it all better already, and they're not even out yet.
I think we're going to see more companies developing for PC and then porting to Xbox and PlayStation though.
Rather than the other way around.
Because you know how now the PlayStation and the Xbox are both basically PCs in a box. Like they've got
Yeah.
PC processors and PC style graphics cards. So I think PC is going to become you develop on PC and then you kind of downscale to your two consoles because they're the same architecture inside.
So it's going to actually benefit the PC in the fact
I
that
hope so.
these are coming out.
At least it will make it easier to develop for PC because everything's kind of x86 AMD kind of things. It's all the same kind of system. It's not like back like last gen when PlayStation had their crazy processors and really weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who do you think's going to win though?
I think PlayStation are. It costs less. They've had a better marketing run. Their games seem better. Like I'm not that bothered about a new Halo game, so I don't think that's basically all the Xbox One's got going for it.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that like the Xbox One's been built around the living room, and like they're saying, "Oh, you can watch football on it," and it's just like, I don't buy a console for that.
I've already got a telly that I can watch football on, so why wouldn't I just watch football? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the PS4 will win just because of the cheaper price.
I think it will win. But Microsoft have always had this kind of we won't start off very well, but we've got enough money that we can just keep throwing money at it till we come through.
Yeah.
Because the first Xbox didn't do that well when it came out, and then it slowly creeped on the PS2. I mean, it never overtook, but it started with a massive disadvantage back then. So I think the Xbox One will become competitive eventually. They might just drop the price dramatically or something just to keep in the loop. But
I just think it's been so long since a new console's come out that it's no one cares as much as they probably would have if it happened, say, 3 or 4 years ago.
yeah, everyone's kind of already got over the consoles they've got. Does that make any sense? Like having an Xbox or having a PlayStation isn't like, oh, I've got the new crazy console. It's I've got one of those things that everyone's got and they've been around for years and years.
Saying that though, I mean there are people that are excited for it, but we're not really in it because we're PC gamers.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I've just bought a PC, and it's better than the PS4 and Xbox One. And it's kind of like I mean, the stuff they did on the Xbox 360 and the PS3 was amazing compared to like the hardware that was in it.
They really pushed what they had.
Yeah, and I wonder if they are gonna be able to do it again.
It probably will be the case, but it's just a case of it took 7 years for the Xbox 360 and the PS4 to do that, so we can't expect the PS4 and Xbox One to do anything like that for a couple of years or whatever.
The developers need to work out what's good and what's bad and tweak away until they get it right.
Yeah.
But it definitely will get better as time goes on. I'm just not interested in owning either of them.
But what about the Wii U?
Couldn't care less.
But it's got some really good games coming out that are just.
I think the Wii U's like a thing that's missed out by people. Because remember the Wii's marketing campaign was amazing.
Yeah.
Everywhere you could see it. It was just on TV all the time, and there were people going, "Look how fun it is to wave this thing around."
It was the family console. That's what they sold it on.
The Wii U launch, I didn't really see that much about it. And I know people who still don't realise that the Wii U's a new console. They just think, oh, it's
An
like a
add-on
thing
for
for
the
the
Wii.
Wii.
Yeah. It's really, they've really done a really bad launch with that. I mean, because it's so confusing. If they called it something different completely,
Or just
like,
called it Wii 2.
or Wii 2, yeah, instead of the Wii U, because it just sounds like it's an add-on instead of a new console.
I mean, they shot themselves in the foot by calling it the Wii, because anything that comes after it is going to have a stupid name. Like the Wii 2, if they called it the Wii 2, that sounds rubbish. But then knowing Nintendo, they do the thing like they do with the DSs, where they like release thinner versions of stuff. So then you've got like the Wii 2 2, the Wii 2 Pro, the Wii 2 U, and it's just like, what? It's just like they shot themselves in the foot with the name of it.
Yeah, I mean, with the DSs as well, they've got the 3D DS, but now you've got the
2D, 3DS.
2D DS. It's actually in the 3D like range.
Isn't it called the 2D 3DS?
I don't know. I just know it plays Pokemon, and it's cheap.
Yeah, that's what matters. I'm just looking through the launch lineup for the PlayStation, I think.
Yeah.
And Killzone and Just Dance, they're exclusives. But there's not a ginormous number of exclusive titles.
I think the PS4 has got more.
It's got quite a few, but like, it's got oh no, wait, that's not for this. Sorry.
I mean, there's stuff that's going over on both of them, of course, which is like the Battlefield and the Call of Duty and the FIFA.
Need for Speed, Assassin's Creed, things like that.
Yeah. Oh yes, and there's Trine 2 for it.
Definitely not buying either of them.
We really should tell the backstory of our hatred of that game.
Well, yeah, because people don't know that Trine 2 was one of the games that we did almost 2 years ago now. It was one of the games that we never completed.
Because we just started hating it, and we thought, oh, we'll just play this because then we'll make videos, and then, we just loathed every experience of playing it every day.
It was like, oh, let's play Trine, let's power on through. And then, like, you get to a bit and it's just like the floaty controls, and then,
It just makes me angry thinking about it.
Well, you got the shortest straw because you played the wizard, and our solution to all problems was Tom can levitate us over the problem
make a
and
box.
then go and kill himself, and that's it.
And they've also got Super Motherload. Do you remember that game?
Oh, is Motherload the one where you like drilled down through the earth and it was
I
on
think so.
Miniclip? Yes.
And then he got all the way to the bottom, and spoiler alert, there was a devil down there.
Oh yeah, I remember. The only Xbox One game I'm looking forward to is I can't find it now. Titanfall, which I know isn't a launch game, but it looks really good and it's coming out for PC as well. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's won a lot of awards, that, hasn't it?
It looks very nice. The gameplay looks very slick. I hope it's as good as the trailers look, but it's made by EA, so I'm a little bit wary.
Who knows?
If I was going to get a console, the game that sways it for me is the new Super Smash Bros.
Oh, so you can get a Wii U?
Yeah. Just because it's the only game I actually bought. Before I bought Nintendo GameCube, I bought Super Smash Bros. Melee before I actually got the console to play it on, because I was like, I'm just going to get it and then just read the manual. So I read the manual cover to cover, for I don't know how many times I read it, but then I knew everything about it, and then when I played it, I was I don't mean to blow my own trumpet or anything, but that's pretty good.
You were pretty good.
I think I agree. If I was going to get a console, I'd get a Wii. Because it's the only one with titles I can't just play on the PC that I kind of might find fun.
Actually, yeah,
Because there's loads of Mario games, there's loads of games that are Nintendo exclusives, and they're really good fun, and I couldn't play them on my PC. And the games on Xbox and PlayStation that are exclusives, I'm not that bothered about. Whereas, like, Mario might actually play.
So, to conclude, the console wars have been won by the Wii U.
At least, yeah. I think that's right. I think that's a fair statement. The console wars have been won by the underdog, the Wii U.
BlizzCon has recently come to an end, and it was quite good from what I saw this year. Quite a lot happened. Obviously, Blink-182 ended the weekend. But talking about games, obviously, World of Warcraft is getting a big update. Heroes of the Storm has finally been announced as an actual proper game you can actually play, kind of, in the future. Diablo 3 has been given an update. They talked about adventure mode and all that kind of stuff. But most importantly, Hearthstone will be going into open beta before the year is out, which I am very happy to hear.
I think Hearthstone might be one of like the most kind of like the game that most people are looking forward to at the moment. There's been so much coverage and like let's plays and loads of videos of people really enjoying playing it, and no one can.
Yeah, it seems like every YouTuber is playing it at the moment, or has some form of like gameplay on their channel.
Yeah, I think the people who play Magic must just be gutted.
Kicking themselves.
The people who make it must be, at least, where it's like, oh damn it.
Well, it's so simple, isn't it? Because the problem with Magic is that you have to get lands to be able to play cards. But in Hearthstone, it's the turns that give you the equivalent to lands, which are mana crystals.
Yeah, they've just simplified the gameplay down quite a lot.
Yeah, and that's what Blizzard is excellent at.
Blizzard is really good at condensing something to the point where you'd think it would be too simple, where you'd not enjoying it and you couldn't enjoy it, but it's still got that kind of edge in terms of it's still quite tactical, still quite thought-provoking, and still quite interesting.
Like even StarCraft as a like RTS, StarCraft is quite small. Is that fair to say? Like, there's not a ginormous amount of stuff. It's not like loads of crazy features, but it's really well done. It's really well balanced. Which I think another thing, like people don't give Blizzard credit for how good they are at balancing games.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing overpowered most of the time in anything they do. And if something does become overpowered, it normally gets nerfed fairly quickly, or not completely destroyed, just kind of tweaked a bit to make it better.
Yeah. I mean, because they had that update for StarCraft, didn't they? Where they had the Warhounds, but then they didn't actually release them in multiplayer, or are they in multiplayer now? I haven't played for ages.
I haven't played StarCraft 2 for ages.
But I know that they just completely they were like, oh, it's too overpowered, we cannot release this on multiplayer. Like, you can get it in the single player, but you can't. It's just not feasible for us to release it at this point.
They are good at that kind of stuff.
I didn't actually watch any of BlizzCon.
I watched a bit of it, but I didn't. Because it's in America, it obviously either happens really late at night or really early in the morning for us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to actually watch it. But okay, let's go through it in kind of order of magnitude. I mean, World of Warcraft, that's the big thing. I know none of us play it. I mean, I played it for 4.5 years a while ago when I was like 15, I think. So I think, yeah, I'm not really bothered about it anymore. But just to kind of mention it, it's got an expansion coming out next year, and it's pretty much one of the best expansions from what I've seen, where like they're putting a lot of emphasis on content and the kind of single player experience of it in the sense of questing and stuff.
So will it be better than the one with the pandas?
Yes, it'll be better than the one with the pandas.
Excellent.
I mean, the big kind of thing I saw was the whole free level 90.
Is it actually free? You don't have to. I thought you have to pay.
Well, if you've bought the expansion,
Yeah.
you get a free level 90.
Right. Okay.
So effectively, it levels your character up to 90, so you can start on the new content straight away.
Right. Okay.
But if you don't own the expansion, you don't get a free level 90, obviously.
I don't know, that could work really well, or you'll have loads of people who are just really annoyed. Like, imagine all those people who are now like level 87, and they spent ages and ages getting to that level, and someone's just like, oh yeah, just buy level 90, it's fine.
The kind of problem, the kind of way of balancing it is that like they strip out your skills, so you've only got the very basic ones, and you do a kind of quest line that eventually gives you all your skills. And obviously, if you don't level it up properly, you're not going to earn as much gold, you're not going to have as many mounts, you're not going to have as many.
So you get fast tracked, but you're missing a load of stuff.
Yeah, you're missing a load of content that can actually help you immensely, like being able to afford a mount or whatever. So it's kind of I don't know too much. I don't know enough about it to kind of give a concrete answer, but I can imagine there's definitely downsides to doing it. But then there's also the upside of being able to play from 90 straight away. So if you've got friends who are 90 but you haven't got a 90 character, you can just go straight in and be playing with them.
I mean, it's for the newcomers, isn't it?
It's for newcomers and also for people who left.
Yes.
For people who left at like level 70 and are coming
I can
back.
push them back up to where they are.
Yeah, so like they're all like, oh, I'm at level 70, but my friends are at 90. But I only want to play with them. Oh, well, I can go to 90. Woohoo! Brilliant! Now I can play with my friends again.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of good.
I think I'm still quite impressed by Warcraft, just as like a thing. Like, how old is Warcraft now? Is it nearly
10 years old, I think.
10 years. Like the fact that an MMO with a subscription, not some weird free-to-play model, can last that long, and still have it still has a reasonably strong user base. I think they've just started
over 7 million subscribers.
They've just started merging a few servers together to make sure they're all still fully populated, but. I mean, it's still a very large number for a game that's so very old.
So that's WoW. That's WoW. We talked about WoW. Wow. Diablo 3 next, because not too much to talk about there. I mean, adventure mode. I don't know much about this. Diablo 3, no one really cares about it anymore. It was an absolute abomination on launch with like Error 37 and all that kind of stuff.
And they've shut down the auction house now as well.
Yeah, Auction House shuts down in March of 2014.
So why did they shut that down? Just because no one's using it, or
because
no one
ruined
cares?
the economy and it ruined the whole basis of loot. The reason you never found any good loot is because the ratio for drops was so low as to promote the use of the auction house, and it was just ridiculous that was the case.
Right. So they were artificially buffing the auction house by making everything else crap.
Yeah, by making everything drop really low. They were making the auction house a viable thing because you'd have to go there to find good stuff.
But it broke other bits of the game, really.
It was interesting though, because you could sell stuff that wasn't any use for your character, and then buy stuff that was 10 times better than you would ever pick up.
But it's like no one ever went, oh man, in Diablo 2, I wish I could have done that. You know what I mean?
And the economy didn't quite work. It's not like an EVE economy or something where it was fully thought out by a team of 8 economists. It didn't quite plug together as well.
Nothing like that. So that happened. That's a thing. Heroes of the Storm. So this is a hero brawler, as Blizzard are calling it, but it's effectively Dota. So Heroes of the Storm is, I don't know when it's coming out. I mean, it's been announced. There's a theatrical trailer out now, and it looks pretty good.
And you can sign up to the beta.
Yeah, you can sign up to the beta now if you've got a Battle.net account. I mean, I like the look of it because I like MOBAs and stuff like that. But there's not enough information out there to actually kind of have an opinion on it yet, I guess.
No.
How a MOBA feels is really important, like how it feels to play, and you're just never going to know that till you give it a go, are you?
I mean, what it does seem like it is a MOBA that you go to once you get really annoyed at LOL or Dota.
Something to kind of go, oh man, 45-minute LOL games are really annoying. I'm just going to play Heroes of the Storm for 20 minutes, have a game. Share levels with everyone.
Yeah, because you share experience, don't you? And there's no last hitting.
No.
So.
Oh, no last hitting! I would kill for that. Like that is the worst mechanic ever.
So it just makes it more fun in the fact that you don't. I mean, you kind of don't have to almost concentrate.
It's again the whole kind of taking a genre, condensing it down to its very basic form,
Yeah.
and then making it really fun and really polished.
And no last hitting. You have no idea how much I hate that mechanic.
So yeah, that looks very good. But I suppose we can't really say much about it until we either see more gameplay or actually play it ourselves.
Yep. And the most important news ever.
Yes, the most important news ever is that Hearthstone is coming into open beta before the end of the year. They didn't give a day, so it could be the 31st of December, but it is happening before the end of the year.
That is such good news. Like, I can't wait for that game.
I've kind of got to the point where I can't be bothered to kind of get a key anymore because I've tried so hard to get into it. But knowing that it's only like a month away, I'm not too fussed anymore. And I think that's pretty much everything from BlizzCon, isn't it? I mean, from what you saw of it, from what you know about it, do you think it was good in terms of like the stuff they announced?
Because I didn't watch it, I don't really know. I got kept updated on the news that was coming out from it, but I didn't bother really watching it.
I don't know. I think there's a good number of things that are coming out. The number of game announcements is big for Blizzard. Like,
Yeah.
Blizzard don't do many new games very often, so the fact that there's 2 new games announced here that are coming out or going into beta is pretty impressive. The Diablo news, no one cares.
Nope. And yeah, I'd agree. I think the announcing of a new game is good.
3, isn't it? WoW expansion, Steer of the Storm, and Hearthstone. That's 3 new big things. It's
Yeah.
pretty good for Blizzard.
Good job, Liz. Good job.
So in free-to-play news, there's been some pretty big free-to-play stuff happening, particularly in some existing games. So PlanetSide had its biggest update. They've just released a 2 gig update and no new content, which sounds really dull and unexciting, but it was to fix all the current bugs with the game. So for anyone who doesn't know, PlanetSide is a single ginormous map, first-person shooting game with miles and miles of open terrain. You fight in whole continents. That it's a 10-minute flight from one corner to the other, and there's about 2,000 to 3,000 people on each continent. So it's the biggest. It's the biggest first-person shooting map just in existence at the moment. But the problem's always been that the game is kind of sluggish and the gunplay is a little bit poor, and nothing quite worked very well, mainly due to the sheer bulk of people. But after this ginormous patch, they fixed all that. Everything's quicker and more responsive, and it just feels an awful lot better. You played it with me the other day, Chris. What did you think of it?
I mean, I didn't play it like before it a lot, before the update. I played it once with you, but I mean, it loaded not much faster, and it just like seemed, I don't know, it's just like better overall.
It was a more enjoyable experience as a thing.
Yeah.
Like, it just, everything flows better, and I found before that like even the controls seemed a little floaty and laggy, and nothing quite seemed right. Whereas now, when you press run, you run straight away. There's no ping issues. There's no graphics issues. My FPS was up by miles. I saw a stat yesterday which was like the responsiveness between their server and clients is up by like 90%, and people's FPS is up by 40% on average. So they've really done a lot of work to make the game worth playing again, which is really good. Because for anyone who doesn't know, it opened with ginormous amounts of excitement, and then everyone went, "Oh, poo! This is laggy," and it's not. I think people were expecting kind of Battlefield quality of controls with thousands of people, which just can't
Isn't
happen.
going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's a lot nearer now, and it's really good to play.
And if you haven't like tried it out, it's really fun. Like once you get like in a huge like squad, like rolling on and taking base after base after base, it gets really fun.
Yeah, when you enter the like 400 versus 400 man kind of battles.
Yeah.
So you end up with little battles in patches, and it intensifies up along these front lines. And you can end up with like 200 man tank battles across large open terrain, and it gets a bit weird at points. But if you haven't played it, I'd say go and play it now. It's free to play. The buying items is fairly balanced. There's no like natural unlock. You buy or you don't unlock it. It's kind of how it works. And for those people who did play it but found it kind of sluggish and laggy, that's okay. You can still go back in and play. I think I'd do that. I go back and see if you prefer the gunplay now they've had this ginormous update. Because you didn't like PlanetSide, did you, Tom?
It's not that I didn't like it. It just didn't work very well.
Okay, fair enough. You do need a fairly decent computer
Yeah,
to get
I mean,
it to
I
work.
would go back to it, but I've only got my laptop, so it would not run very well at all on my laptop. I'm pretty sure
It is
of
coming
that.
out for PlayStation 4.
Maybe my laptop is better than that. I don't know.
No, but it's coming out for PlayStation 4, which will be interesting. I really want to see what happens if the game just gets filled with people who are kind of like little kids screaming down microphones, or if it generally works well.
If it becomes a COD thing.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's what I'm
is
thinking.
it going to work across both platforms?
It's cross-platform, which is why it's not coming. Or which is why there's some other free-to-play games that aren't coming out on Xbox. I'll talk about that in a bit.
That strikes me as odd, because surely it'd be easier to play a shooter with a mouse and keyboard than a controller.
Yeah, but it's probably easy to find the planes.
Ah, true.
So there might be a bit of a thing either way. Also, remember when you've got the controller, you'll have that like what's it called? You know where it locks on when you aim at people and things.
Ah, right, yeah.
Aimbot.
So that might aimbot. That might basically that might assist a little. Other free-to-play news: War Thunder announced that they're going to release the tanks aspect of their game. So people who don't know, War Thunder at the moment is air combat, World War II air combat simulator, which is free to play. Really popular. I really enjoy it. Tom doesn't so much, but
Nope.
I do. But they're releasing a tanks aspect, which is probably going to be similar to World of Tanks, but no one's talking about that. Interestingly, they've announced they're releasing tanks, and World of Tanks have announced World of Planes.
Yeah.
So they're each trying to eat into each other's territory a bit. But that's a lot of people are really looking forward to tanks. I'm not so much. I just like the planes, but that's okay. And the other big free-to-play news is from BlizzCon, which is Hearthstone and DawnGate.
No, DawnGate
No,
isn't
no.
from BlizzCon.
Damn it.
DawnGate is EA, Hearthstone is Blizz.
So yeah, we've already spoke about Hearthstone. Open beta till before the end of the year. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. 2 thumbs up. Other one, DawnGate, is a upcoming MOBA from EA. I recently got invited to the closed beta, and it's pretty good. It's definitely a lot in a lot better shape than Infinite Crisis was when it went into closed beta. It's most similar to League of Legends in like its art style and how it looks, except that it's a 2-lane map instead of a 3-lane map, and the jungle is a lot bigger.
Okay.
I mean, I've not played enough of it to kind of understand what works and what you need to do and what is different about it to League of Legends. What I would say is that the interface is actually really, really nice. Everything is just nice and clean and simple.
But can you play it through Origin? Because it's EA.
No, you don't have
isn't
to.
it?
I haven't got Origin installed, and I can still play it.
That's very good.
It'll probably be on Origin as a thing that you can download,
Yeah.
but it's a separate client. Like, you don't need Origin up to play it, which
Right,
I
okay.
like. So yeah, that's DawnGate. I'll probably be able to talk about it a little more like next time once I've had a bit more time with it.
So other than that, we're going to cover some new releases, aren't we?
Mhm.
A lot of the new releases over the next week are Xbox One titles from like earlier in the year that are just being repushed and re-rendered onto Xbox One, and same with PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
But the actual new games coming in over the next kind of 2 weeks are Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which I'm not that bothered about, but I know some Assassin's Creed fans who are. What about you two? Do you much care for that?
I played the first one.
You played the first Assassin's
I
Creed?
played the first one, and it was like just a bench simulator. Just sit on a bench and listen to a conversation. I tried number 2, and it was exactly the same again, and I just haven't played one since then.
I think I played the one in Italy,
That was 2.
and then I just stopped playing it.
This one, in Assassin's Creed 3, there was a lot of stuff with boats and sea battles where you could jump from boat to boat. And they found that people really liked that tiny aspect of the game, so they were like, pirates, and they made a whole game based around that.
Fair enough.
Other new releases, XCOM Enemy Within has just been released. That's an expansion pack for the already existing XCOM game, which kind of balances the game a bit and adds some new features for the higher level and higher end players.
If we're talking about stuff that's already been released as well, Contrast has been released on PC.
Yes.
I like the look of that. Like it's a kind of weird shadow platformer where you can go into a 2D realm and a 3D realm, blah 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 blah. But it hasn't been getting very good reviews, so I don't know whether I should try it or not.
Is there a demo?
Not that I know of. But if there was, I'd give it a go. But I mean, it looks all right. I suppose we'll see if it ends up on the Christmas sale.
Other things that were meant to be out this week. On the 22nd, we were meant to get Watch Dogs, but that's been pushed back in the saddest piece of news all year, as far as I'm concerned.
At least Angry Birds Star Wars is coming out on Xbox One that day.
Joy. Yeah. Have you seen how much Angry Birds Star Wars is going to cost for Xbox One, by the way?
Is it like £5 or something?
Nope, it's 15.
What?
For a game that costs £1.20 on my phone.
Or free on Android.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think that's quite worth the money.
Skip that.
It's same on Wii. Is it Wii U? The game costs about the same. Same on DS. It's just ridiculously expensive. Other than that, there's not a huge number of releases that are particularly exciting coming out. The only game worth noting purely for the cover is there's a game called Savannah Kosher Edition.
Shiva.
And the only reason it's worth noting is that the motto is a radical adventure, which is amazing. And I think I have no idea what this game's about, but I'm going to find out for next week.
Shiva Kosher Edition.
I can't wait.
I mean, apparently it's remastered. So,
excellent.
I mean...
But it's a radical adventure, and it has a picture of a rabbi on the front.
Yeah.
I mean...
there's a demo available, so...
If we were going to judge a game purely on its cover and slogan, that would be the game of the week.
11 out of 10.
Well, for the slogan and cover.
I can actually tell you about the features of Shiva Kosher Edition if you'd like to know.
Yeah, go on.
Updated graphics. Newly composed music. You're going to love this one, David. Rabbinical conversation methods.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
3 different endings. Fully voiced dialogue. And then in brackets it says Abe Goldfarb's debut role.
Fully voiced dialogue.
And I mean, if either of you can explain what this means. Talmudic combat. But then after that it goes Talmudic combat ! And it says fight the way only a rabbi can.
No, I've just seen it's only £4. It's $4 on Steam. I don't know how much that translates to.
That's like £2 or something like that.
If it's really cheap, I might buy it.
Oh my good god.
I'll have a look.
Right, well we need to play that and talk about that next time.
Yep.
Okay, we will play
Shiva
Kosher Edition with radical combat.
Oh Jesus.
If so, that may be enough.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast with me, Chris, David.
Yeah. Say to that.
And Tom.
Thanks. Hello. Bye. Yeah.
Thank you. Goodbye. I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Is victorious. Let none oppose the new order.